Rumors going around about a new killer whale that has been discovered. It says a mysterious type of killer whale sought after years found off the coast of Chile. Um, Scientists say they found a mysterious type of killer whale that they've been searching for years. It lives in parts of the ocean near Antarctica, and it could be the largest animal to have remained unidentified by biologists. The notion that there might be some unusual kind of killer whale emerged back in 1955. Photos from New Zealand showed a bunch of whales stranded on a beach. This was a very different type of looking killer whale, says Robert Pittman, a marine ecologist with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The whales were smaller than other killer whales, and they had rounded heads and pointier fins, and most importantly, Pittman adds, they had a little tiny eye patch and a white spot under each eye, characteristic of killer whales. These patches were unusually small, in some cases almost non-existent. The biologists were mystified. Then in 2005, Pittman met a French biologist at a science conference who showed him a photo of an odd-looking killer whale while swimming in the southern Indian Ocean. And he says, I looked down, and there they were, the New Zealand killer whales, he recalls. For Pittman, the hunt was on. Last year, he assembled a team to go to Cape Horn in Chile to look for what's now technically called the Type D killer whale. Local fishers have been complaining that some kind of whale was stripping off their fishing lines. NOAA biologist Lisa Balance, who's married to Pittman, was part of the team. From the beginning, I had referred to it as the needle in the haystack. She says it's a big ocean and it's a rough one. It was a slow start. Their ship at Cape Horn was trapped at an anchor for 8 days by howling weather, but then they got a 12-hour quiet spell. We left that night, Balance recalls, and pounded into the sea so that we could get to our spot at first light the next morning. Pittman picks up the story. The sun came up in the morning at 5:50. We had the Type D killer whales swimming around our boat. And there they were, Balance recalls for a moment at lost for words. Oh, I can't even. It was thrilling for all of us, Pittman says. It's like seeing a dinosaur or something. It's one of these moments that biologists live for. And I said, that's it. That's the New Zealand killer whale. There was no mistake in its peculiar look, says Balance. Visibly, she says, this form is the most unusual and distinct from a form of killer whale on the planet. Later, they realized why the whale swam out to them. The team had lowered an underwater microphone over the side, and a long cable with cameras attached. Pittman says it must have looked like a fishing line with fish on it. It looked like breakfast, and you can imagine them thinking, hey, where's our fish, he says. But that was definitely the way to bring them to the boat. The team was able to snip off some sample tissues from the whales by firing a harmless dart attached to a line into their skin. An analyst of the DNA will determine if this is actually a complete new species or just an unusual subtype. Either way, the mystery killer whale, so the Southern Ocean, had been found. Kind of interesting, though. Every damn day we're still finding new type of creatures, if this is the case.